Hello and welcome to Financial Self-Care for Personal and Professional Use. This is a recording of the original webinar from February 26, 2015. It did not record correctly, so the Financial Therapy Network is bringing this to you in a re-recorded form. This is our first event being sponsored by the Financial Therapy Network, and here you can see that you can go to financialtherapynetwork.com and register or subscribe to our newsletter. We will be doing our formal launch for Financial Literacy Month in April, but right now you can subscribe and learn about everything that's happening and become a part of the Financial Therapy Network. Today's agenda is a brief introduction on financial social work. Then we will talk about what is financial self-care and move on to financial self-care steps. We'll conclude with some details on financial social work certification. Just to tell you a little bit about financial social work, that this year a 3-year multiple agency research project in Erie, Pennsylvania will conclude, and we will be sharing that data with our community. Financial social work curriculum has been taught at the University of Kentucky as an online elective since 2011, and financial social work is included in the new Oxford Press online encyclopedia of social work. So why do we have financial social work? That's because financial illiteracy is at the heart of all social and economic injustice. And we do everything we can through financial social work and our new Financial Therapy Network to provide ways to help everyone take control of their money and gain control of their lives. What's so special about financial social work? Well, it is a behavioral model. And that's important because until and unless behavior changes, our financial circumstances aren't likely to change. It is an interactive, introspective, heavily psychosocial model, which is multidisciplinary, strength-based, and works with individuals and groups. It is an ongoing model of engagement, education, motivation, validation, and support. That's important because that's what we need to change behavior, an ongoing model. This is at its essence what it looks like. It's your relationship with money that drives your financial behavior, and it's your financial behavior, how you earn, spend, save, and invest, along with how you share with others. And that's what determines financial circumstances. And that arrow is where change happens. 10 goals of financial social work are to help clients understand why they are in their current financial circumstances and help them to identify where they want to be financially in the future. It's an important component by connecting people with where they are now and where they want to be in the future. We empower them to create a success plan and a strategy to get them where they want to be. Sorry, some more technology problems I see. So number 2, connect to their money. We're very disconnected today from our money. We don't see it. We don't touch it. We don't interact with it. Out of sight, out of mind. Not really, but it allows for denial and avoidance. So we need to help clients connect to their money. Heal their relationship with money. Very, very important. we need to improve that relationship with money. We need to understand how we came to think about money the way that we do, to feel about it, and to interact with it. And by healing that relationship with money, we go many, many steps in the right direction of making friends with our money, which we'll talk a good deal about today. We help clients to cope with the stress of financial problems, to eliminate the actions and habits that sabotage financial well-being, key to changing behavior and making friends with your money, and to set and work to achieve financial goals. These are all very important pieces of helping clients take control of their money and gain control of their lives. So financial social work helps develop core money management skills and tools. We certainly need to improve the relationship with money, but we need to help clients have the skills and the tools to manage their money. We help clients address the emotional issues which drive financial behavior and to understand the relationship between taking control of their money and gaining control of their lives. And once again, we come to make friends with their money. When we have financial problems, we tend to consider money as the enemy. Money isn't the enemy. And by making friends with our money, we develop a new, better, healthier relationship with our money. And if you see this little graphic here, when you are challenged financially or feeling financially limited, you are not valuing yourself highly enough. So certainly a large component of the whole issue of money and financial problems has to do with feeling deserving of having a better financial future. So there's a large component of self-esteem, sense of self, and self-worth. So financial self-care. What comes to mind when you hear those words together? Financial self-care. How would you define financial self-care? Think about that for a moment. When we did our live broadcast, we had wonderful responses from the audience. I'd like to share with you what I consider financial self-care. I think and feel and believe that it is a method for reframing and rethinking how you interact with your money. Again, being more positive, being more hopeful. Hopelessness closes the door to change. Hope is what opens it. And we need to provide that hope and the tools and the skills and the understanding and insight to make friends with your money. So financial self-care provides a different way of thinking and behaving with money. It keeps the focus on achieving financial well-being. Financial well-being is something that we all need. I'm particularly positive about this graphic because when we talk about individual wellness, many people don't include the financial component. But here you can see that along with emotional, spiritual, intellectual, physical, and all of the other components of well-being and wellness, financial wellness is included. So we have 4 parts to financial self-care. Part 1 is acknowledging the existence of the financial component of your life. Again, we're so disconnected from our money, so we need to acknowledge what it is and how it fits and where it fits in our lives. That money disconnect makes it too easy to ignore and avoid the financial component of our lives. We use credit cards, debit cards, cell phones. We just don't see it. We don't touch it. And it helps not to think about it, though we know that the #1 worry of most people is around money and finance. So number 2, understanding and nurturing the financial component of your life. Increased awareness of the role of money in your life brings greater insight into how it impacts personal, financial, emotional, psychological, and physical well-being. These are all intertwined, and total wellness needs to incorporate greater insight and understanding and nurturing of the financial component of your life. The more connected you are to your money, the more thoughtful and careful you will be when managing it. So that is number 2, understanding and nurturing the financial component of your life. And the greater your understanding of the financial component, the more likely you are to create financial well-being. And in this graphic, you see the relevance of personal values. Because if our values aren't aligned with our behavior, our financial behavior, that dissonance is felt in all areas of your life. Part 3, learning how to take control and remain in control of the financial component of your life. Taking charge of your money rather than allowing your money to be in charge of your life. And your money is in charge of your life if you're not feeling in control of it, if you have financial problems, if you're worried and thinking about money all the time, how you'll get to your next paycheck, how you'll pay your bills. The learning process is based upon where you start, the degree of commitment and consistency, the determination to achieve goals. There's so many components in this part 3 of the learning process. And certainly one thing that was very evident in our original webinar on February 26th was the isolation and loneliness that people were feeling around their financial problems. And that's something that through financial social work and the Financial Therapy Network, we very much want to change. We want people to know that they're not alone and that there is a community to support them. So number 4, once again, make friends with your money. Money is not the enemy. Need to rethink our relationship with money. That's an important part of financial self-care. Your relationship with your money drives your financial behavior, and your financial behavior determines your financial circumstances. Stop thinking about money as the enemy. Let's make friends with our money and think about the good things that being financially well can bring into our lives. So the 4 components are progressive. We need to acknowledge the existence of the financial component of our lives, to understand and nurture that financial component, then to learn how to take and to remain in control of the financial component of our lives. So certainly those are the skills and the tools of money management, and then we need to make friends with our money. Something to think about. Which of the 4 parts of financial self-care do you think would be most difficult for you to master? In the original broadcast, a number of people felt that all of them would be, but the largest response was that learning how to take and remain in control of the financial component of life would be the most difficult. Of course, through financial social work, through the certification, and now with the Financial Therapy Network and all we'll be offering through that, that is no longer going to be the challenge it once was. So why does financial self-care matter? It matters because it's so central to physical and emotional well-being. Neglecting it places all areas of your life at risk for problems and complications. So the concept of financial self-care, which is something I've been working on for a very long time, but this is the first time I'm offering it out to our community. The concept is non-threatening. It's a benign approach to financial behavioral change. It's an excellent way of introducing clients to the concept of money management, of changing behavior, of financial wellness. And an excellent tool for doing all of this is the financial self-care plan. And not only is it an excellent tool, but it's an expedient approach to financial well-being. It's an easy-to-use tool which provides the ability to clearly identify what behaviors, what habits need change, and what are the actions required to make those changes in order to create greater financial well-being. And again, this self-care graphic, which indicates that self-care matters, includes the economic component of your life. So we'll jump right in here with the 5 steps to creating a financial self-care plan. Step number 1, we identify the need. What do you need to change to better take care of yourself financially? Rather than considering taking care of yourself financially as something punitive, as so many people do with the B word for budget. We know that no one likes the B word. But here we're talking about taking care of yourself and considering what money changes do you need or want to make in order to create financial well-being. It's reframing the concept of money in our lives. So number 1 is identify the need. Number 2, what action, what do you need to do to take better care of yourself financially? What is the behavior that, or the habit that may be holding you back? So how can you change that to help you to bring about financial well-being? So application is step number 3. How will you apply that action? In what way or ways will you implement the action that you've chosen and identified? And as soon as we finish all 5 steps, I will show you an example so that you have a clearer idea of how to use the financial self-care plan. Step number 4 is a timeline. When will you begin to apply that action? How long do you think it will take to achieve success? Setting a time frame helps to keep the focus on meeting deadlines. These deadlines, these time frames, they're not set in cement. However, with step number 5, monitor progress, you're able to watch whether you are meeting your timelines. If you need more time, less time, if you need to set new habits, new changes that you want to make. Assess and reassess your progress and efforts to apply and to achieve the actions from number 2. Success requires monitoring your efforts and progress to see whether those actions are leading you to the expected and hoped for and much anticipated changes. So these are the 5 steps. Identify the need, the action, the application, the timeline, and continue to assess and reassess. And here's what it looks like in a form. You can work across, and we'll just take a look here at the first example. Get a copy of my free credit report. We'll be talking a bit more about credit reports and FICO scores in a little bit. So we've identified and why they're so important. And so if you don't have a copy of your free credit report, Perhaps your first step would be to get a copy of your free annual credit report. Of course, up here you would put in your name and the date. And as you continue to expand the financial self-care plan, you would continue to make new ones and to date them so that you can refer back and see the progress you've made. So your application, you would study your credit report to check for errors and learn what you can from it, because your credit report tells a very specific and individual story about you and your credit. So timeline. Request the report within the next 5 days, and annualcreditreport.com is the only website to go to acquire a free credit report from each of the CRAs. Those are the credit reporting agencies. And you can get one from each. You can request all three at one time, or you can space them out every 4 months and see if your credit is improving. And those four CRAs are Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. So you've committed to requesting your credit report within the next 5 days. And how are you going to monitor it? Well, you're going to study and understand the report within the next 10 days. And when you come back to your financial self-care plan, if you haven't completed what you said you would do here, then you need to change your timeline and recommit to monitoring it. Down here we have, in this lavender space, begin saving. So that's what you want to do. Your action or habit is to find $5 each week which to start saving. So your application, be aware of every purchase you make in order to identify where you're going to get that $5. You're going to begin immediately. And your assessment or monitoring component is to make certain that that amount increases by $5 each week. If that isn't happening, then you need to figure out why and recommit to this on your financial self-care plan. So those are examples of how to use the financial self-care plan. So something to ask yourself to think about. How do you feel about using the financial self-care plan for yourself and with your clients? Does that make sense to you? Do you think it would be helpful? Think about how to use it with your clients and how could you implement it individually and personally. So now we'll move on to 8 financial self-care behaviors. Number 1, know why. Why are you doing this? Why do you want to take better care of yourself? If you stop and think about all advertising and marketing, the goal of all of those ads that you see are to make you consider how that product or service would improve your life. Would it make you happier, thinner, prettier, healthier, richer? Know why you've chosen to take better care of yourself financially. Certainly no more stress would be a good one to consider. We know how stressful money is. Again, it is the #1 stressor in people's lives. So number 2, make time for your money. The time you invest with your money and in your finances is as important as the money you invest for your future. Very important. So you need to schedule time with your money. That certainly can be one of the steps on your financial self-care plan. So how much time should you schedule with your money? Your commitment to schedule time should be one that is written in stone, is something that you plan to do on a regular basis. It's the only way to know your financial picture. Who you owe money to, who owes money to you, how much you have, how much you owe, how much you need. We recommend you spend 1 hour a week with your money. You might want to pause this session right now and jot down what you would do with your 1 hour a week. After you've paid your bills, what are some of the behaviors, some of the things you can do with your money? Certainly you can read more about money. You can work on your finances. You can set financial goals. We gave you some very specific behaviors about earlier on in the session, acknowledging your money, understanding and nurturing it, connecting with your money. If you're not spending time thinking about your money and being proactive with it rather than reactive, you're not going to not only not change behavior and improve financial circumstances, you're not working at improving your relationship with your money. So we have number 3 is to set SMART goals. We've done numerous sessions on SMART goals. You can access all of our recorded webinars. I think our SMART goal webinar was probably in January of 2013. You can access those on the Financial Social Work YouTube channel, or you can go to our Facebook page for Financial Social Work, and there's a big square button that says Webinar Recordings. But briefly, SMART goals are specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic and relevant, and time-based. Knowing your goals helps you to connect to your money and to be more aware of why you've chosen to take better care of your financial life. Pay yourself first. So pay yourself first is a concept dedicated to the fact that you treat yourself as a bill, a non-negotiable expense, just as spending an hour with your money each week should be non-negotiable. Paying yourself first. It might be that $5 that we used as an example in the financial self-care plan. It may be more, but right off the top, before you start paying your bills, you put money into your savings, because we know that if you don't pay yourself first, you are highly unlikely to pay yourself last, which means you're not paying yourself at all. So that's behavior number 4. And here we go. Not only do we talk about making friends with your money, number 5 is make friends with your credit. So here again, we give you the annual creditreport.com. You pull your credit report. We recommend that you pull one every 4 months rather than all 3 at the same time. But if you've never pulled your report and you're anxious to see what you look like on paper, you can start by pulling all 3. But you need to study them and learn what they have to tell you. So your credit report is one part of that. Make friends with your credit puzzle. But your FICO score is a separate and different part. And it's critical that you know your FICO score. Your FICO score determines so much of your financial life. Your interest rate, your ability to receive a loan of any kind, these are all based on your FICO score. And what makes up your FICO credit score is, as you can see here, your payment history, your amounts owed, the length of your credit history, your new credit accounts, and the types of credit used. Certainly we could do more than one webinar just on FICO score, so we can't go into great detail on this right now, but I do want you to see that the largest, most important part of your credit score, 35%, is your payment history. Do not be late making your payments on your credit cards. That hurts your score. FICO stands for Fair Isaac Company, and until the year 2000, we as consumers did not have access to our credit scores. At that time, FICO did make those credit scores available for a fee. Those scores, again, from the CRAs, the credit reporting agencies, are still available through FICO for a fee. But hopefully all of you are familiar with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, also well known as Consumer CFPB, and they are about the best thing that ever happened to consumers, certainly that I know of, because they do wonderful things to look out for the well-being of everyday consumers. And they are requesting / requiring credit card companies to provide a monthly FICO score in your credit statements. I know that when I access my credit card online, I am able to look at my FICO score at no cost. So you may want to check your hard copy if that's how you receive your credit card statements, or online to see if you can access your FICO score for free. There are actually numerous FICO scores, but the basic FICO credit score is the best known and the one you want to be most familiar with. So behavior number 6 is to reduce emotional spending. And emotional spending is spending for reasons other than need. Emotional spending is spending to celebrate, spending for a pick-me-up, spending to impress friends or clients. Spending is a habit, spending from boredom, spending because we're conditioned to, because our friends spend, or from feelings of entitlement. So that's a general, broad overlook at emotional spending. At what age would you guess emotional spending begins? Pick a number. I think you'll be surprised, I was, to know that it begins as early as the age of 3 years old. Parents begin buying children things on special days, birthdays, Christmas, and then that process progresses to spending on not such special days. So the emotional spending ritual continues into adulthood as a reward system. As we grow, we can have the Barbie, the new video game, perhaps even a car, if we behave, if we keep our grades up, if we graduate, if we get a promotion. All of those become reasons to spend. Not reasons exactly, but something we're conditioned to do. And subtly and not so subtly, our conscious and subconscious minds learns to link, what do you think? Being loved with being shot for. Being loved with being shot for. And that's underlined emotional spending. Emotional spending resembles other unhealthy habits: eating, drinking, drugging. The mechanism that triggers self-destructive behavior rests deep within negative thoughts, feelings, and attitudes that contribute to unhealthy money habits and actions. Do you see the similar self-destructing component there? So, behavior number 7 is to identify your spending and stress triggers. People who struggle with alcohol, food, and drugs, what are they taught? Well, they're taught to avoid the triggers that contribute to those unhealthy addictions. So we need to identify spending and stress triggers, and we divide them into two parts. Feelings. What are the feelings that make you feel the need to spend? So take a moment to think about the feelings that make you feel that you need to spend. Obviously, this is a very brief list, but you might want to think about it and jot down the feelings that are triggers for you to spend. And the other part of it, what are the circumstances that trigger your spending? Is it a fight with a friend or loved one, a poor evaluation from a supervisor, illness, problems at work or home? What circumstances make you feel like you need to spend? Behavior number 8. We're going to look at ways to curb emotional spending. Wait 48 hours to buy must-have items. That, of course, is something you make the commitment to do ahead of time. Cancel subscriptions to catalogs. Block shopping sites from your computer. Don't give stores your email address. Automatically delete sales emails. I like to include some humor in these sessions. I think humor is a good thing, even though most things having to do with money and certainly with financial problems have little humor in them. But I like this cartoon, so I thought I would share it with you. Let's continue on with curb emotional spending. Watch, see less or fewer advertisements on television. Avoid shopping places by going to work or going home a different way if you pass your favorite shopping places. Replace spending habits with other routines. And replace shopping with low or no cost activities such as reading a book from the library, although there are many free books available for iPads and tablets. Having a friend over for lunch instead of eating out, renting a movie or taking it out of the library, giving yourself a home spa treatment, mani-pedi, whatever, taking a walk, having friends over to play board games. Make a list of your no-cost, low-cost activities and keep it where it's available should you feel that need to spend emotionally to meet emotional needs. So here's something to think about. Which of the following financial self-care behaviors would you be most likely to find challenging? Reducing emotional spending, eliminating debt, spending time managing your money, setting financial goals, or avoiding spending triggers. In our original session, a lot of these attendees were divided between all 5 of these, but the most felt that eliminating debt would be most difficult. And if you choose to become part of our community, we have many tools and opportunities, and certainly the certification can teach you how to address all of these behaviors. So first we looked at which would be most challenging, and so you have the opportunity to think about how you can address the ones that you felt would be most challenging. How about which would be the one or ones that you felt most comfortable implementing? You can write those down and you can use those to begin your financial self-care plan. So to finish up today, we're going to look at what are the benefits of financial self-care. Definitely, it will reduce your stress levels. It will give you greater emotional stability. It will help you to improve your financial circumstances. It will certainly make you feel and be more in control of your money. And by being more in control of your money, you are automatically more in control of your life. Can you think of any other benefits that you can achieve through taking better financial care of yourself? You might want to write those down for sure. So to conclude, I will just share with you the Financial Social Work Certification 3.0 details. There are 5 workbooks. They're all beautifully designed and digitized, and they cover the most important aspects of financial self-care. And it is a self-study, self-paced program. Our students have 6 months to complete the program, and there is an online final exam. It is an open book exam, and students have 2 weeks to complete it. It is currently only $495, and it includes 20 CEUs from the National NASW. And here, for the first time, sharing with you our social media from the Financial Therapy Network. You can like us on Facebook at FTN Wellness and on Twitter at FTN Wellness. We are on LinkedIn and on Google+. We hope that you will become a part of that community also. When we launch, we will be offering online financial support groups. We'll be starting with exclusive groups for women, and we will also be offering our self-help program called My Money, Myself. That is a consumer online program. So our next webinar will be on March 25th, and it is on overcoming faulty financial beliefs. And because this is a re-recording, we will conclude now because we cannot do a Q&A. I thank you all for joining us and listening to this recording, and we hope to see you back here in the future.